Hi, everybody. Hassan Shariq, regulated Canadian immigration consultant, bringing you a quite exciting and surprising news. So it's a weekend, Saturday, 13th of Feb. It's actually a long weekend here in Canada. So I had no plans of going online, and I've been a little busy here and there. But IRCC has come up with a bit of a surprise for all of us. So what has happened is that we just had an express entry round of invitation a few hours ago, and this was the biggest ever round of invitation, in the sense that the highest number of ITAs were issued. Very, very interesting. And for a lot of time, all of us, the RCICs and other immigration practitioners here in Canada, we have different WhatsApp groups and our own groups, and this was being discussed in all the groups. If this is real, a lot of people thought that this was a glitch, but it is official. IRCC just conducted a draw, which was CEC specific only, and it was 27,000 ITAs. So I know FSWP applicants might not be all that happy, but this is great news for a lot of Canadian experience class. Myself, as an immigration practitioner, a lot of international students who are in Canada, who've been here, who've been stuck lately, a lot of people who have Canadian work experience. This is great news. So let's first have a quick look. I know Saji, well, there's a lot of comments coming in already. We'll get on to that one by one, but let's first have a look at the draw itself. The details of the draw. Yeah, there you go. And I'll try and zoom in a bit so that all of you can see. So a lot of people were expecting, and we saw that starting this year, there weren't as many all-inclusive draws. Sorry, it's still early morning here, and I'm having my, it's not tea, it's not coffee, it's actually my kava. For those of you who understand what kava is, this is my kava. There weren't many all-inclusive draws happening, so a lot of people were anxious as to what is happening. And keep in mind that since March 2020, Canada has imposed a travel restriction, and a lot of people who've been granted COPR, confirmation of PR, they have the travel restriction as well. So even they were not allowed to travel. So a lot of people, even having their confirmed PRs, PR approval, not a PR status, were not allowed to travel. And now, starting in just a few days, we will have a very, very strict travel restriction where anybody who travels into Canada, whatever their status is, will have to undergo a COVID test. So, these things are being made stricter with every passing day. Now, we were all expecting draws, but what has happened is that today, in the morning, we had a draw, which is 27,000 ITAs issued. And a lot of people were confused because the lowest, the cutoff CRS stood at 75, 27,000 ITAs. Never has this happened. The highest that we had was 5,000, and it was CEC only. So CEC only was expected because that was the trend that was going on, but 27,000 not expected. So just looking at these details, this is 27,000, just a score of 75 CRS points was required. There was a cutoff date, but looking at the pool itself, and this is the numbers that are shared over here, this is actually a few days old. So this is not after the draw. So we see that overall the number of people in the pool stand at about 152,000, which once you take out these 27,000 people is going to be what, 125,000 people now. Also, one of the things that we now know is that between 1200 up till what, 75, there were about 27,000 CEC applicants. So you can take that out and then you can do the numbers for FSWP applicants, and we'll discuss in a bit as to what are the possibilities now in terms of FSWP applicants. So yes, this is how it is. This is the draw for today. Now, a lot of people were not really sure if it was true, or even still, a lot of people. Myself, when I looked at it, I thought that it was a tech glitch in the beginning. But soon after that, IRCC shared an official notification, which I will share with all of you. So yes, it is official. This says on Government of Canada's website, wherein the official notice, and I'll read it for you: thousands of skilled workers in Canada invited to stay permanently. So the idea is that because there is travel restrictions, all those applicants who are outside of Canada and they are being processed for PR, they might not be able to travel anytime soon. These are people, keep in mind, for Canadian experience class, you must have at least 12 months of Canadian work experience. So that means that these are people who possibly are already on a job or have been on a Canadian job, are in Canada, have a valid status for Canada. So once their PR is processed, there is no need for them to wait outside of Canada. They will right away move in and start working. Quite likely, most of them are already in Canada. So that's the reason that they've done this round of invitation with so many ITAs. Also, the fact that because of COVID, there has been an economic impact as well. There has been loss of jobs as well. So, inviting people from outside of Canada who still don't have the same skill set. Not saying that they don't have the skill set. I think this is not the right terminology that I should be using, but they have to move into Canada, and there's always a transition period. So it might be challenging for people to move into Canada and right away look for get into jobs. So these are people who are already in Canada, already have jobs, have experience. Many of them are Canadian students. And this is great news for Canadian students. This is one of the major differences between the immigration system that Canada has compared with some other countries like Australia, UK, even US. The education system that Canada has, wherein it offers all these opportunities to international students, they have these considerations in mind that how to help international students settle into Canada once they finish their degrees, because they don't really want all these students to come here, just study and then go back if that is not their choice. Like if a student would want to study and go back, then that's completely their choice. But this policy is actually in line with that. So all those kids out there, youngsters out there who are planning on studying in a country for their further studies, keep this in mind. This is the difference between Canada and other major international education destinations. Canada is really taking care of Canadian graduates. This particular policy clearly shows that anybody who graduated from a Canadian institution and had 1 year of work experience, no matter how low their IELTS was, whatever their score was, they have been given an opportunity to settle in Canada through this round of invitation that has happened. So this is the official notice that is out there. I'll quickly read it through that. As we confront the pandemic second wave and chart a course for our recovery. Attracting skilled immigrants who bring talent and skills our economy needs to strive is a central part of our plan. So what IRCC has done is that all those who are in Canada and working, if their status is temporary, they are going to help them stay permanently through this particular invitation. So 27,300 workers with Canadian experience received an invitation today to apply for permanent residence. So this is official, folks. The requirement that they should have had at least 1 year of Canadian experience. That was probably the only requirement. Most notably, approximately 90% of CEC applicants are already living in Canada. So, that whole hassle of they would have done their biometrics already. Doing medicals is easy, no travel restrictions. So there's definitely reason for that. Documentation, criminality, all those screening, it is easy. Important thing. I know there will be questions as to those who are outside of Canada, who are basically federal skilled worker program applicants, what is there for them. So keep in mind, see, this particular year, I'll just highlight one line. IRCC will continue to accept and process express entry applications and look forward to welcoming skilled workers from abroad when travel resumes. So this, I'll stop the screen share. So this particular line clearly indicates that it's not that express entry is going to be closed for applicants from outside of Canada. No. FSWP applicants have all the opportunity. Yes, in upcoming weeks, we might not see as many draws. You never know. There might be a draw, but we might not see as many draws. 27,000 invitations issued. Normally, we saw that there were about 5,000 invitations issued every 2 weeks. With 27,000, if the same average is kept, probably this is equal to about 5 different draws. So we might see a bit of a gap, a bit of a delay in the next draw whenever that happens. This is just a possibility. This is my own opinion, nothing official, but this is quite likely. Because that is the whole reason that they invited CEC applicants. They did not really want to have a lot of applications which can't be processed in time and then people waiting. Moving forward, now keep one thing in mind, that these 27,000 invitations that are issued, they're going to have an impact. First of all, for this year, the target PR admission numbers is about 110,000. Now, they've already conducted a few draws this particular year, so maybe 15,000 invitations already issued, 27,000 with this. So this is about 42,000. We still have a large number of invitations or PR spots left for this particular year. So no reason to lose any kind of hope. And keep in mind, once they've invited 27,000 people, going as low as 75 CRS, the number of CEC applicants coming into the pool is not going to be as high that in 2 months there will be another 27,000 back in the pool. So that's not going to be the case. The number is smaller in any case. So whenever there is FSWP draws, that will help. But when does that happen? We'll have to wait and see. Also keep in mind that with so many ITAs issued for CEC, some of the PNP programs, which are very attractive PNP programs, which invite people from outside of Canada, and one of them is OINP, for which I have a lot of clients and there's a lot of interest as well. So OINP, when they invite their folks, they tend to invite people at very high CRS scores, specific knocks. Now, with these invitations gone out, I believe that whenever there is an OINP draw in say maybe a month or so, it will all be FSWP applicants. Occasional CEC applicants who were not able to receive an invitation because they didn't enter. So the likelihood of OINP draws being more beneficial for FSWP applicants, and the cutoff CRS score probably falling a little below where it has been for recent OINP programs is a strong possibility. Alberta, they've not really been inviting a lot of people, so I can't really say much about that. There is definitely Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan will have an impact as well because of the number of people they invite. So with this particular draw, all the FSWP applicants, you might have to wait for a while. But if your NOC is within OINP, the Ontario PNP, the generic NOCs that they invite or the tech NOCs that they invite, then you have a good chance. Now, whenever that draw happens, we'll have to wait and see. And also keep in mind, don't lose hope. 27,000 was all the CEC applicants up until the score of 75. So you can imagine the percentage that is there out of all them. See, there are 152,000 profiles that were there before these draws happened. They took out 20 CEC applicants with scores of as low as 75. So that's 27,000. So those 27,000 have moved out. So this clearly shows that larger number of applicants is FSWP applicants. So it is very hard that in maybe 2 months or 3 months time, there will be 27,000 more CC applicants coming in again. It is now the competition is going to be between FSWP applicants. So yeah, that's how it is. What I will do is that I will quickly take a few questions because I had no plan of doing this weekend session. This happened while I was having my breakfast. And I thought I'll just quickly, before I move forward on the questions, for those of you, because it's a very large number of invitations that have been issued. For those of you who are CEC applicants and you receive your ITA, you will be receiving it within 24 hours. Some might have received it, some might have not received it, so don't worry about that. For those who receive, and if they would want to have their PR application submitted through us or have just a review of documentation, you can send an email on info@shariqimmigration.com and we'll be happy to do that. We have a service where you do your application, we only review your documents and we tell them if they are in the right shape for your PR application. So feel free, or if you would just want to discuss 1 or 2 matters, maybe 1 or 2 documents, you can book a consultation. Just send an email on info@shariqimmigration and we'll be happy to provide you with a code. Sachu Saji, is it true? I've already explained that well. It is true. The largest express entry round of invitation with 27,000 ITAs issued just for CEC. Navparit, hi Shariq, how will they process this many applications? How will it impact the copper timelines of those who already have ITAs? Yes, it is a large number of PR applications, but keep in mind with CEC applicants, it is easier to do a lot of scrutiny. CEC applicants are already in Canada, 90% as mentioned in the document. 90% of them are already in Canada. So that means that they've had their biometrics done. So there's no requirement to have those biometrics done. The biometrics are already there, so they can do a lot of screening based on biometrics because of that. Medical screening is easy. They're in Canada. They have their medical test done. Police certificates at times would be easy. They already have a history. And then there is no requirement for, traveling, at times security clearances. So it is easier to process one such application. But you're right, it's a large number of applications. Definitely they've, as I said, again, this is my own opinion. This is not a policy that they've provided. But my opinion is that there might not be a round of invitation, like a big round of invitation for a while now. We might see PNP applications being invited, but we may not see too many invitations for a while. That's my thought process on it. And also keep in mind that those who get receive these ITAs, they're already in Canada, so they're working, so they're on a temporary status. Even if it takes a while for processing of these applications, they can have their implied status, and they can keep working on that. So it doesn't really matter if their PR is finalized in 6 months or maybe 8 months time from now. They're already in Canada. You have a second part of your question, which is that how will this impact the other one? This should not directly impact, because there is not going to be, I don't know, again, at the back end there might be, but those who've already applied or they have ITAs, they can proceed with their applications, and applications are being processed. I have clients for whom I have applied back in like the 6 months time frame has already gone past. No additional document was required. Holistically looking at the application, it seemed like a very simple, straightforward application, but they are waiting. And then there have been applicants who were from outside of Canada, and their application was finalized within about 4 months. So it varies on application to application, and also on the offices involved as well. Rupesh, so what about FSW draws in future? So I did touch upon this a little. See, there's no confirmed policy guideline with regard to this. I'll share my own opinion. I have shared it previously, but keep in mind, it's not that FSW invitations are not going to happen. There might be a delay now. So we might see a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, maybe 1 month, where there are no FSWP draws. It may happen. But my own opinion is that we might not see FSWP draws happening for a few weeks at least. But two things to keep in mind. First, the number of FSWP the number of PR admissions that they are looking for or to have for this particular year is about 110,000. That number is large. This is what 27,000 ITAs, and there were about 15,000. So we are just at what, between 40 to 45,000 ITAs for the federal program. We still have a very large number of ITAs left out there. CEC applicants, it's only a small number out of the overall pool. The overall pool had 152,000 profiles before these draws happened. They almost took away all CEC applicants out of it. Like there might just be a few hundred left in it because of the tie-breaking rule at the bottom. And it was what, 27,000. So if you do the maths, 21 in about 150,000, there were 27,000. So that's what, 1 in 6. That's about 16%, 16 to 17% of the total applications were CEC applications. So you cannot expect that in say next 2 months there will be 27,000 CEC applicants again coming into the pool and filling all those spots. And if you do like allocation based on the different CRS range, where the high competition is for FSWP applicants 450 and above, between the number of CEC applicants having CRS score of 450 and above will be even smaller. So don't expect that it will be in a month or 2 months or even in 3 months that all those CEC spots that people had between 450 and above would be filled altogether. No. So those applicants are out of the pool now. Now, when does FSWP draw happen? That will impact the cutoff scores for for FSWP applicants. And also what number of ITAs are issued. We also have to have a look as to Some other draws, as I mentioned, OINP is going to be one such program where FSWP applicants will be invited. It's a small number of knocks, so we'll have to wait and see as to how much of an impact that creates, how many draws they do. So I know a lot of people might actually be having their birthdays at this time and they might be losing those things, but that's how immigration is. I keep saying in my videos and my sessions that immigration is never static. It's there are highs and lows. So realistically, if you would want to take a chance, you have to be part of the race, creating your profile. Now, who would have thought that people as low as 75 CRS would be invited even under CEC? I know a lot of people who were in Canada who completed their studies, but somehow they were stuck on low CRS scores and were having all these challenges. So FSWP applicants, you might have to wait for a while, but it doesn't mean that Canada is closed for applicants from outside. It doesn't. It's not possible. Let me put it like that. It's not possible. But there might be a bit of a gap from now and when we have the next FSWP inclusive draw. So Preet, very good question, and this is where I started doing my calculations. The question is, CEC IELTS minimum score is 6 to create a profile. How can someone create E profile with 75? And this is where I had my doubts as well. Yes, but then there are if you do some maths, then there are possibilities. Somebody might actually be above 45, so they have 0 for age. They might just have a high school, so that's there. CEC also doesn't mean that you have to have Canadian education. CEC is 12 months of Canadian work experience. So those people who came on work permits, they might have 12 months of Canadian work experience, but their education is non-Canadian, so they don't have points. So there is still a possibility, but a valid question that you did ask. Gurveer Singh, if you're a CEC applicant with 411 and it was October, you should have received an ITA, or you will receive an ITA within 24 hours. Because anybody above 75, you would have been part of this draw. So wait for up until 24 hours. Sachu, I have 449 created in December 29. I will give yes, Sachu. In a while, you will be getting an ITA. Engineer Safiullah, I'm this particular session is not for those other questions. I'm only focusing on the draw that we have today. How is it possible to get just 75 points? 1 year Canadian work experience alone gives you 40 points. Keep in mind, if you're married, then it doesn't give you 40 points. And so Canadian experience class can actually be people who came here on a work permit. So there are possibilities. And also, if you're married, you get less points for IELTS. It can be tradespeople as well. Tradespeople require a lower IELTS. So there are possibilities. Now, I already see questions about next CEC drop. We don't know. Next CEC drop, let's see. I don't think that there might be a draw soon. That's my opinion again. So I don't think so. Thanks, Bilal. Mohammed Bilal Ijaz, what you reckon if IRCC come with a draw now? What score you predict? I'm not going to predict any scores. Shreya, FSWP 461 score may any possibility. Shreya, let's wait and see. May is too far for now. It's about 3 months. We might see a draw by that time. 461. I've moved out of the business of doing these predictions. It's too unpredictable. Now, Preet, I've already answered. Bilal, do you have any information regarding resumption? Bilal, I don't have any information for now. It's government policy. They have made it much more strict. That's what I can say. Starting, it's already kind of effective, but from 15th, anybody who moves, who travels to Canada, when they land, there are procedures that they have to do before as well. They have to have a PCR test 72 hours before they board the plane. Only then they will be allowed to board the plane. Once they land, they have to have, one should have a hotel booking of at least 3 days before their departure. Once they land, they will have a COVID test here, and then they'll be sent to the hotel that they booked. After 3 days, if it is the test is negative, then they can go to their place, their own home, or wherever where they will do self-isolation for next 11 to 14 days. If it is not negative and it is a positive test, then they will be taken to a government facility where they will kept in self-isolation and quarantine. And the cost of this has to be on the person who's traveling. So they are actually getting a little more strict. So I don't see travel restrictions being eased anytime soon, at least until there is a good bit of population which is vaccinated. Before 12. Aman Sindhu has a question. It's about who applied before 12 September. No, that is the tie-breaking rule. So people who have a score of 75, CRS score of 75, only those who applied before 12 September with a score of 75 CRS will be invited. If you have a score of 76, if your profile was live in the pool at the time of draw, you will be invited. The cutoff, the tie-breaking rule is only for people who are who share the cutoff CRS score. Namandeep Singh, are the invitations already issued, or it's going to take some time to receive? Yeah. The process starts. I have people who have received invitations by now. Within 24 hours, people will receive. This is a very large number of invitations, 27,000. So it might take. Normally, it takes about 24 hours that all invitations are received in your portal. If you've applied yourself, it will be in your. If you applied through an IRCC or a lawyer, it will be in their authorized representative portal. So Sandeep had a question that acknowledgement of receipt, like application September 2020, will our file be processed, or there will be further hold forever? Applications, FSW applications that are there, they are processed. Sorry, they are being processed. So don't worry that they will stop processing. It might take more time to finalize, but they are processing all FSWP applications. This doesn't mean that processing is going to stop. Those who have ITAs, those who have AORs, their processing is happening. Oh, what does this mean? Future CEC draws. Arch has a question. What does this mean for future CEC draws? Absolutely no clue. Let's wait and see. But I don't expect too many draws other than the PNP draws in coming days. If there are CEC draws, it might not be such large draws. There might not be all that many CEC people, even if they do a draw, maybe say what in 4 weeks' time from now. Namandeep, I don't know if I've already answered you. If your profile was there, 431 score, you will be receiving an ITA within 24 hours. Gagandeep, yes, Gagan, if your profile was live at the time of invitation 451 score, you will receive an. I see a lot of similar questions. How long it, and most of these are my Punjabi brothers. A lot of them are in Canada on student visas and on work permits as well. So most likely. So all the Punjabi bhais, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਬਾਰਕ ਤੇ ਅਗਲੇ 24 ਘੰਟੇ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ITA ਰਿਸੀਵ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ PR ਦੀ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਇਆ ਜੇ. Sorry for those who don't understand Punjabi. I was just mentioning to all the Punjabi speaking folks that ITAs will be received within 24 hours and then they can submit their application. Arsalan Tahir, what does this mean for FSWS applicants? Arsalan, FSW applicants might have to wait for a while, and we might not see a drop in a few weeks, at least. Ashwan, will there be future draws like this? How does it impact future draws? Arsh, I have absolutely no clue if there will be. This was surprising. This was surprising for all of us. Sunny, question on OINP, assuming that they will conduct the draws, assuming that there won't be an all program draw soon, will they continue to use the last all program cutoff scores as their benchmark? Sunny, OINP doesn't use FSW scores as the benchmark. What probably at back end they would do, but if the way it works is that they pick a knock and then there is a certain number of ITAs or invitations that they send, and then based on that the cutoff comes out, because they only issue a small number of ITAs. It is specific knocks, small numbers, so that's why the cutoff stays over there. But if they do send out invitations anytime soon for their tech or general knocks, I do expect, if not all, good about 90% of the invitees being FSWP applicants. There's a large number of applicants who are in the field of the tech knocks, and then there's a large number of applicants who are from the generic knocks that they have: marketing, sales managers, accounting, and auditing professionals in person like these. So I expect the cutoff score to be slightly lower, because otherwise, if these invitations were being sent out, there were CEC applicants with high scores. So those people have sort of moved out. The last calculation that I did some time back was that between 450 to 600, there were on an average about 30% of the applications were CEC. So the number of CEC applicants in the highest CRS score range is higher. So with all these people going out, the 27,000 people that have gone out, a good number of people would have had the scores of 400 and above. And I would say that if we look at the numbers, so see between 450 to 500, there were about 26,000 applicants altogether. My own rough estimation is that in the score range of 451 to 500, the 26,000 people that were there would be about 30% of these applicants or profiles would have been CEC. So that's taken out. So you move anywhere, 481 to 490, 1500, you can easily take about 500 out of that. 471 to 480, there's 3800, you can take about 1/3 out of that. So definitely that will ease, bring about some ease for FSWP applicants. But the important thing that we have to wait and see is that how long does it take for IRCC to conduct the next draw, more specifically the FSWP draw. If it is a while, then more and more people will be entering the pool for sure. So that will fill up all those spots by FSW applicants. So that's how it is. I think that's that's all the questions. Couple of more questions. Gagandeep, someone says this draw only for those who created a profile before September 2020. Please can make us sure about it. No, that's not how it is. That's not how it works. Where people get confused is the tie-breaking rule, Gagan. So the tie-breaking rule is 12 September. Tie-breaking rule is that so anybody whose profile was live at the time that this draw happened, and they had a score of 76 and above, they will be invited, no matter when they created their profile, even if it was 3 days ago. Now, on 75, just for your understanding, on the score of 75, there will be quite a few applicants. Say they had 100 people on the score of 75, and there is this tie-breaking rule because they've invited a certain number of people, and they can only invite 30 more people. Now, how do they decide between those 100? To decide, what they do is that they have the tie-breaking rule, which is so that nobody can later on come and say that, why didn't you invite me? So if there was a profile which was made after 12th of September and they had a score of 75, we're only talking of people on the score of 75, they will not be invited. But anybody with a score of 76 or above, as long as their profile was live at the time that this draw happened, will have an invitation. Just wait for a while. Perfect. So that's about it. Congratulations, all the CEC applicants. Nobody would have thought this. For a while, all of us, myself, my colleagues, we started texting each other. So congratulations. This clearly shows how much of emphasis Canada has for its own education system, for its own policies. People who have Canadian experience, people who have Canadian education are always provided with the opportunity to somehow settle in Canada and become permanent residents if they wish so. So important for those students who are thinking about picking a country for their the studies. This might actually become a good reason. Yesterday or day before, there was another policy where all students who are not able to travel to Canada because of the travel restrictions or some other reason, and they do their studies online by 31st of December, will be eligible for postgraduate work permit. So that's great news as well. So once again, congratulations to all CEC applicants who received this invitation. It's a large number of invites. For those of you who would want to have their documents reviewed or their application submitted and require our official services, feel free to shoot an email and we can help you with that. Enjoy the long weekend. I know a lot of people from within Canada might be watching this live stream. So enjoy the long weekend. It's chilly, but you have a great news to enjoy with. That's all from my side for now. We'll meet again soon through a video, through a live session. Till that time, take very good care of yourself and your families. Bye-bye.